Good morning. No sound of gravel this morning. Simply not at Magdala. Here in Magdala again this morning. Maybe you have figured out, if you ponder what you see, that all around us are hills and we're in the lowest part of Magdala. But I'm 7 floors up at this point. I was thinking maybe to climb up here, but I'm not sure that'll restrict horizontal movement. I'm not sure if it will give much more movement. Maybe it will. Maybe give more an earlier moment of the sun. Although, do I see it there? No. Although no, it's going to lose because the other building there is going to come in between us and the sun. So we're better off here. Yesterday, many of you agreed that it would be good to send views from the sites, but I must be very frank, it was non-stop the whole day. It was amazing. When you have a little bit of responsibility for a group going around, there are lots of things going on all the time, lots of questions, issues, looking for somebody that detached from the group and all these kind of things, counting the sheep as you go through the pastures of the spiritual life. So I will try today. I was able last night to do, yesterday evening at the Western Wall, to do the live YouTube, which I do once a week in German, because of petition of many German friends. It's nice to see the screen here among all the houses, and a little breath of fresh air for the people. And I was able to do that video. I'm very grateful for that because I don't like missing that. Only a few times I have missed it. But to get much more done, if things would run smoother, if everybody would be on time, but that's humanity. We have different age groups and different interests. Things catch people's eyes. People go into shops. It's all okay. It just, the ideal situation, we would have gaps to do some videos, but let's see. I'm going to try today to see if we can do that. I'm fascinated that we have these old fields with the ancient walls built here and left so in the midst of this burgeoning city. This place reminds me a little bit, just in terms of structure, from Nazareth, because the old city was down in a little hollow and surrounded by hills all around. Well, anyway, let's look briefly at the readings. Again, yesterday will be brief today. And we see a whole process happening. A covenant is sealed. And in those ancient times, it was sealed by blood, a blood covenant. And this blood covenant was sealed with the people. The covenant started out with one person, with Abraham, God and Abraham. And now it's a whole people agreeing to abide by the covenant with God. So God's plan is going ahead, even though there were hundreds of years of slavery in between. Even though everybody who is involved in this earth is a broken person, a damaged person, and yet the triumph of fidelity, to get, especially God's fidelity through His grace constantly given, enables this great stage to be reached where a whole people, there we have the sunrise, a whole people actually is, now that we know the exact spots coming up, I'm going to measure if we can go up the stairs here, if we'd have an advantage by going up. So anyways, there's a people developed, and that people is going to continue developing. Not just numerically, and it's also going to withstand many, many more trials, like 40 years in the wilderness after this covenant. And it's going to Yeah, I guess we could have come up here, but there wouldn't be a major advantage. I think people might be getting nervous that we're up so high. And the people is growing, the people is growing. Just imagine our world today, over 7 billion people. And that's from the creation of humanity. And then if we think about the covenant of Moses and these people with God, you know, and how that has grown today. There are about 2.5 billion Christians. I'm going down again in case anybody's nervous. And then we have the Jewish people. Obviously it's a relatively smaller population, about 15, 16 million. And then we have the Muslim population, which also is influenced by this covenant because Moses is seen as a prophet. We have a Muslim participant with us in this pilgrimage, and he's always repeating that for Islam, Jesus is the first prophet. Well, not the first prophet, but he's a major prophet, but on his conscience, he's the first prophet. And Muhammad is the second prophet. I don't want to get into all that theological issue because I don't have enough expertise in that, or really any expertise, a little bit of superficial knowledge of that whole area. So it's amazing, you know, then the Muslim people, or Islam is over 1 billion people. So that covenant, it was only a fraction of the people at that time, has extended its blessings over almost half the world's population now. And at that time, there were absolutely not half the world's population. There were a small, minor demography among the Egyptian people, and the Egyptian people was just one people 3,000 years ago, and there were many other peoples. So it's interesting to see that growth and how God takes time with humanity and gives us time. And then we see all the troubles this people had after the covenant and growing into the covenant. And we can do a big spring forward to the gospel, and we see a family that's very close to Jesus, who is also renewing the covenant. He's insisting on the 10 commandments that we had yesterday. He's insisting on the friendship of God, on the mercy of God, and he's renewing the people in the covenant. And some are responding more readily, more generously. The soil is well prepared, so there's good growth, and there's going to be a good harvest of olives in the olive tree. And this is beautiful to see how people respond. And it seems to be that way with God, that he's not looking for a big general election where everybody votes him in. He's looking for each person to be in covenant, and the whole people as a result. But each one has their own calling. And we see here in these two women, Martha and Mary, and their brother Lazarus, when Lazarus has died, their faith. And now the covenant has not grown numerically only, but also in great understanding, because the faith in the resurrection has emerged. And the Sadducees are a branch that don't want to accept that, but the Pharisees do. And there's all that big tension on that issue and other issues about the Messiah and so forth, issues about politics with the liaison with the Romans that the Sadducees develop, but the Pharisees are very critical of. So we have a very complex field, but we have people who are growing deeply in the faith, and the resurrection is becoming more and more established. And there's probably no more consistent expression of faith in the resurrection than there is from Martha. this woman who was also very busy. Not a busybody, but a very engaged person, very committed person, maybe bordering, I don't want to say it like this, but kind of bordering on alcohol, workaholic, not alcoholic, workaholic. And she is still this woman of deep faith. She knows Jesus. She has come to know more and more the reality of the resurrection, the hope of the resurrection. And she expresses that with all her heart. I know you are the resurrection of the life and the life. She is one with this faith. And while it's still a struggle for a lot of people at that time, it's just a small number believe strongly in the resurrection and in this personal resurrection through Jesus. But now look at the population that believes in that. And maybe some enter crisis, the resurrection of the body, and life everlasting. What a great light has dawned for humanity beyond the darkness of death. I can't identify what tree that is with that beautiful white, like a flower. I'm not sure if it's a flower. So maybe we just leave it like that for today, people, and see where we're all growing in our faith, where our populations are growing, communities. Like this pilgrimage with over 400 people yesterday. We were at the Nativity Church, we were at Shepherd's Field, the Milk Grotto. Then we went to Jerusalem at the Upper Room, Peter and Gallicantu, the Dormition, and we ended up at the Western Wall. And there you can see, if you just go to the YouTube channel. Oh, I can put in one little plug for my YouTube channel. You know, every Friday evening I do one in German, so I'm not expecting you to see that, but actually all the filming is in English, only the words are in German. So you can see the Western Wall area. But I'm doing some special things on YouTube, and hopefully I'll be doing some more as time goes on. And it might be a good thing that you can just subscribe to. There's absolutely zero charge, and that also helps to boost the confidence of newcomers that that's a place where something good is to be found. So thank you for your prayers, and I'll see if I can do some extra filming today. Let's see how it works out. God bless you from Magdala, here right beside Bethlehem. See you later, alligators. We're all ready to go. Breakfast is in a little bit, and we're leaving early this morning for the Mount of Olives. So maybe that, if I do a video, it'll be from the Mount of Olives, probably. Or maybe from the Via Dolorosa in the afternoon and the Holy Sepulchre. God bless you.